when a father is shocked to know that his daughter killed his wife.
What's going on? I don't know. We just got dad. I'm the dad. Okay, Sydney.
Then we have a mother who is shocked to know that her daughter killed her boyfriend and a friend in a car accident.
But she's a good, if you would have a moment, all you would need is 5 minutes of a conversation to have with her to learn who she is. Just that, you would just need 5 minutes to learn who she is and what she's capable of not doing and doing.
And then there's this mother who was left stunned when she discovered that her teenage daughter had taken the life of her newborn baby.
Lexi, have you watched the news of the girls that what they do to their babies and what they go to jail?
Let's start with this case in which a daughter killed her own mother. On March 3rd, 2020, Ohio police rushed to a 911 call at a home in Akron, where they made a horrifying discovery. Brenda Powell was found on her kitchen floor with 30 stab wounds to her neck. Her daughter, Sydney, who was also present in the house, claimed that a home invasion had escalated into a violent murder, but it was all a lie. This is what happened next when the police arrived at their house.
Akron Police! Akron Police! Where's your mom at? Okay, stay right here.
No, there's so much blood. No, please!
Man!
She's
Never.
in
Take
the
her.
court now! No!
Stop!
Well, we gotta figure out what's going on. Can you sit down?
R9, get that 32 rolling here quick. We got a female down, blood all over the place. Sergeant Smart, you just got a crime scene. Take her outside.
You got
She's blood all over. I don't even know if she's breathing. Secure the scene. She looks like a 22. She looks like she's been down for a while. There's blood all over the place. There's a knife by her head and stuff like that, and there's a huge pool of blood. No, I think she just walked in on it. There's a broken window in the back, so if you can just put up some crime scene tape. As soon as AFD gets here, they're gonna...
Brenda wasn't just stabbed, she was also hit over the head with an iron skillet. Her injuries were so severe that she couldn't survive. The officers then took Sydney outside the house.
What is your name?
Sydney?
Are you cut?
I don't think so.
Yeah, you're cut somewhere.
I don't think so.
Yeah, your hand.
No, I was helping her. I grabbed her.
All right, stop.
Sydney appeared to have been hurt and was in shock, struggling to stay composed. Even when her father, Steve Powell, arrived, she remained very upset. The police had to secure the crime scene and figure out exactly what had happened. Inside the house, there was a broken window and the knife used to stab Brenda. However, the police noticed something unusual. There were drops of blood on the outside of the broken window, suggesting it was broken after Brenda had been stabbed. Sydney claimed the window was broken before the attack, contradicting the physical evidence. This was the first of many inconsistencies in her story. The police would need to investigate further to determine the true sequence of events.
Okay.
Do you live here, sir?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's my wife and there's my daughter.
How old's your daughter?
She'll be 20 in March. She's 19 today. Is she coming out?
Not yet, sir. Just can't hang out.
Sydney, can you tell me what happened? Huh? Sydney. Sydney.
On its way?
Yeah, it's coming.
From where?
Yeah, that's them right here. I can hear them.
After that, Sydney and Steve both were taken to the police station for further investigation. Police interviewed Steve Powell and one of Sydney's friends at the station. They hoped these interviews would reveal more about what had happened. Sadly, Steve was unaware that Sydney was involved in the attack. Sydney did not inform her parents that she had been expelled from college a few weeks before the incident. However, she did share this information with her friends, including her dorm mate, Lauren.
We understand that Sydney was your roommate at Mount Union?
Yes, she was for last year and then this year until she left.
And so you've been friends ever since your freshman year at St. B?
Mm-hmm.
Go over each other's houses, everything like that?
Yep. Well, she started off in exercise science freshman year, her first semester, but then she didn't like the classes, so she switched over to psychology and sociology, but then she didn't really like that, so this year she switched to education, and then she didn't like that either, and that's one of the reasons she left, is because she really couldn't find what she liked. I think she struggled in her classes, I don't think her grades were the best, but she didn't really tell me that because I wasn't really struggling. I think she kept a lot of stuff hidden because when we were just talking or with our friends, she always seemed happy. Like, she seemed okay, like I said, I couldn't tell until the end where she was kind of just like struggling and she kind of was sad and just like, Lauren, I don't know what to do. I think she felt like everybody around her kind of had figured out what they wanted to do and she hadn't.
Sydney claimed insanity caused her blackout and memory loss, complicating the case with a lack of evidence. Investigators found Sydney had kept many secrets from nearly everyone. Sydney lied to her parents, making them think she was leaving college because it wasn't working out, when really she'd been expelled. She convinced them it would save money if she pursued other things instead of staying in school.
What's going on? Are you not going to school? She goes, I'm overwhelmed in school and I don't really like what I'm doing and it seems like it's a waste of my time and your money. I said, well, but that's all part of it. Nobody's going to tell you you need to do what you're doing when you're 20. You need to figure it out.
However, Sydney told a different story to her friends. While she misled her parents into thinking she was voluntarily leaving college to save money, Sydney confided in her friends the real reason she was leaving. She had been expelled. This is what she told her friend Lauren.
So when she's talking to you about, the problems she's having at school, did she mention that she tried talking to her parents?
Yeah, I know she definitely, especially when she left, she talked to her mom about leaving and they kind of made that decision together to leave now. Like, she told them that.
Sydney had also been hiding the truth from her parents, who were unaware of her college troubles until Sydney's professor called them. Steve and Brenda then had urgent discussions to understand what was happening with their daughter.
So I went back, I called my wife on my daughter's phone. She picks up, she was working down in Children's. And she goes, what's wrong? And I basically told her, I said, Sydney, I think the reason we can't get on is because she's unenrolled. She hasn't been going to school.
Investigators suspected Sydney snapped when her mother Brenda was on the phone with her college professors. They believed Sydney tried to silence Brenda forever to cover up her lies. Investigators also said Sydney beat Brenda with a skillet, then stabbed her over 30 times, before impersonating her mother and staging a break-in to conceal her actions. The jury did not find Sydney's insanity defense convincing. She was found guilty of 2 counts of murder, 1 count of felonious assault, and 1 count of tampering with evidence. She was sentenced to life in prison. However, she will still be eligible for parole after serving a minimum of 15 years. Now, our next case shows that on a quiet summer evening of July 2022, 3 teenagers were celebrating their recent high school graduation at a friend's house. Mackenzie Shella was supposed to drive everyone home at the end of the night. Her boyfriend of 3 years and his friend trusted her to get them home safely. But what if that wasn't her plan at all?
She's alive. We got to get her out.
Here, reach.
All right.
Reach up and unlock this door.
Let me see your knife. Let's cut this thing out.
Mackenzie Shella's overspeeding killed her boyfriend Dominic Russo and a friend, Davin Flanagan. Fortunately, Mackenzie herself survived the crash, though her condition was very serious. She was rushed to the hospital to receive emergency medical treatment. After Mackenzie's condition stabilized, she was taken into police custody for further investigation into the incident.
Where is she? Right back there, pal.
Hi, Mackenzie. Step out for me. I'm Detective Jesus. I'm the one who's been investigating the crash. You're under arrest for aggravated murder ×2, okay? Nobody's gonna ask you any questions. Nobody's gonna bother you. Can I have your key, please?
Could you please be careful taking this one off so it doesn't break the bracelet, please?
You got it. You got it.
The police were now focused on thoroughly investigating the circumstances surrounding the fatal crash caused by Mackenzie's reckless driving. Despite the tragic loss of life, they would need to build a solid case against her through evidence and witness statements. The priority was to uncover the truth of what led to this devastating outcome. Several weeks later, Mackenzie's trial began.
Is it just kids being kids? Is it Dominic grabbing the steering wheel? Is it Mackenzie maybe speeding and say, oh my God, dark out, it's light, I'm coming up to this, I better do something, and she goes like that to avoid an accident, not acting purposely, but in fact trying to avoid it? Is it sudden acceleration, panic?
The lawyer suggested that Mackenzie may have been speeding, but was trying to avoid a collision, not intentionally crashing. He also raised the possibility of sudden acceleration or panic causing her to lose control of the vehicle. Later, the judge found Mackenzie guilty of murder, but her mother remained determined in her belief that her daughter was not a killer.
You for leniency because this was a tragic accident that she does not remember.
Evidence showed Mackenzie had a history of abusive behavior and was a drug addict. On the day of the incident, she and Dominic were having a heated argument. In a fit of rage, Mackenzie intentionally crashed her car into a building at over 100 miles per hour, killing both Dominic and Davin. As a result, Mackenzie was sentenced to 2 concurrent 15-year to life sentences. This means she will be eligible for parole in 15 years, though the judge also ordered her driver's license to be permanently revoked. Now, moving on to the next case. Alexi Treviso, a 19-year-old high school senior, gave birth to her son in January in a bathroom of a hospital emergency room. According to the police investigation, Treviso then suffocated the newborn baby. Afterward, she hid the infant's body in a trash can, concealing it under a trash bag.
I'm sorry about this, but in terms of delivering a baby and it looked like you tried to hide it, we do have to have the police involved.
That thing was crying. It came out with nothing.
I know. But the baby's gonna have to be taken for autopsy.
The case is now under investigation by the authorities.
You guys have, I'm the charge nurse here. Do you guys have any questions for me?
Like, how big is the baby?
It's full term.
What? 9 months? Nothing was crying. Lexi, have you watched the news of the girls that what they do to their babies and what they go to jail? Nothing was crying.
The full-term status of the infant only heightens the gravity of the incident.
Yeah, that's me.
Okay. Is this your family?
Yes.
Okay. Hi, I'm Detective Williams, Strategic Police Department. What questions do you have for me right now?
What's gonna go on? Like, what, can I be with her?
She's getting life flighted out right now.
Okay.
So they're taking her right now.
Okay.
I haven't spoke to her at all.
Okay, so like, what's gonna go on? Like, what's gonna happen with her? Like,
so she's gonna get treatment before we even talk to her because she needs to be stabilized. So that's why she didn't life flight it out.
Okay.
Once she gets stabilized, we'll try and talk to her. The baby's gonna go up north for autopsy. More likely it'll be done within the next day.
Is she gonna get detained after, like, she's released? How?
Get what?
Like, are y'all gonna take her into custody or anything like that? Like,
that depends on what the DA finds. We have to wait for the autopsy to come back to see what happened.
The exchange shows the mother's concern for her daughter's well-being, while also indicating the police will need to wait for the autopsy results before determining if Treviso will face charges. The officers' responses suggest that they are still gathering evidence to understand the full circumstances surrounding the infant's death. Later, Treviso was officially charged with first-degree murder and tampering with evidence in relation to the death of her newborn son. Despite the severity of the charges, she was released on a $100,000 bond while the investigation continued.